Talofa, Malo, lelei'i, Bula, vinaka, and welcome to TEIVOVORugby.com's Super Rugby Pacific podcast, Season 1, Episode 5. I'm Culden Kamea. This is my weekly podcast on the Fijian Drua, Moana Pasifika, and other teams in the Super Rugby Pacific 2023 competition, plus Team Fijiana, of course, defending their Super W title in Australia. In Super Rugby Round 5 last weekend, the Blues 30-17 over the Force, the Rebels beat the Reds 40-34, the Hurricanes trashed Moana Pasifika 59-0, the Hurricanes cleaned out the Fijian Drua 57-24, the New South Wales Waratahs went down to the Chiefs in Sydney 24-14, and the Crusaders beat the Brumbies 35-17. In Super W, Round 1 last weekend, the New South Wales Waratahs beat the Force 43-0, and the Reds smashed the Rebels by the same score, 43-0. Meanwhile, the Fijian Drua won their first ever game at home in Nandi 12-7 against the Brumbies. Borrowing much of this story from New Zealand, Stuff NZ rugby columnist Mark Reason, the average margin of victory for the 5 New Zealand Super Rugby teams last weekend was 26, and all of them were a long way short of full strength. One thing Super Rugby Pacific cannot hide from is that attendances are plummeting across Australia and New Zealand. That's why crowd attendances at games are never revealed, but it's plain to see on TV. In contrast, NRL crowds are up this season. Over 50,000 turned up for the Brisbane Derby between the Broncos and the Dolphins. The New Zealand Warriors get way bigger crowds than the handful who turned up at Mount Smart to watch the Canes thump Moana Pasifika. Further afield, the NFL in the US has just concluded a bumper regular season with 97% of seats sold, with the average crowd, wait for it, 69,000 at an average ticket price of a staggering New Zealand $740 per ticket. It's a major worry. If only the Fijian Drua can be more consistent and Moana Pasifika start winning. In other Super Rugby news, Crusaders and All Blacks wing Sevu Reece will miss the rest of the 2023 rugby season, including the Rugby World Cup in France, due to a new knee injury. The 26-year-old Fijian flyer injured his knee earlier this month against the Blues at Eden Park and will undergo surgery. Across the ditch, rugby union fans in Australia were somewhat stunned by news last Friday that Rugby Australia had signed NRL teen sensation Joseph Su'ali'i to switch codes and play for the New South Wales Waratahs from 2025. The 19-year-old has penned a deal reportedly worth Australian $1.6 million per season until the end of 2027 to become Australia's highest paid rugby player in history. It comes ahead of the 2025 British and Irish Lions Tour and the 2027 Rugby World Cup. $1.6 million a season is a staggering amount of money to bank on one player, especially a wing, to what? Beat the British and Irish Lions? Rugby Australia has been down this road so many times before, signing the likes of Wendell Sailor, Lote Tungiri, Marika Koroimbete, and more recently Suliasi Vunivalu, some of the best NRL wings of all time. Not sure if it was all money well spent. Anyway, watch out for Team Fijiana at 1:05 p.m. at home in Suva against the Melbourne Rebels on Saturday, followed by the Fijian Drua at 3:35 p.m. also at HFC Bank Stadium against the Rebels, who are fresh off impressive wins against the Tars and the Reds, who have both beaten the Fijian Drua. For TEIVOVORugby.com, I'm Culden Kamea.